Welcome, heroes! Today we're going to dive into one of the most fascinating episodes of Greek mythology, a story that challenges the limits of human curiosity and reason. We'll explore Odysseus's encounter with the Sirens, a crucial moment in the Odyssey, where temptation and resistance intertwine in a battle for survival. Through a journey that blends magic, cleverness, and self-awareness, we'll see how Odysseus not only faces the dangers of the mythological world, but also the internal temptations we all face. The Sirens, with their hypnotic song, symbolize the deadly seductions that lure us into the unknown. But will Odysseus give in? And what can we learn from his struggle against these forces? Get ready for a deep reflection on desire, reason, and self-control, as we bring to light the eternal dilemmas that this encounter represents. Let's embark on this fascinating journey together. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our content. Let's get started. Odysseus and the Sirens. The encounter with mortal temptation. Odysseus's encounter with the Sirens is one of the most enigmatic and symbolic passages in the Odyssey, Homer's masterpiece. This episode transcends the maritime adventure and becomes a deeply psychological, spiritual, and philosophical narrative filled with symbols that echo universal human dilemmas. Below, we explain all the details of this encounter, from its mythological roots to its conclusion. Who are the Sirens in Greek mythology? The Sirens are mythical figures in Greek mythology who fascinate and terrify with their beauty, hypnotic song, and ability to manipulate the human mind. Although widely known as creatures that seduce sailors to death, their origins, appearance, and symbolism are much deeper and more complex, reflecting various interpretations over the centuries. Here are all the details about the Sirens, exploring their origins, nature, role in myths, and cultural transformations. 1. Origins of the Sirens. The Sirens first appear in Greek mythology as hybrid entities, connected both to the human and divine worlds. They have different genealogies depending on the mythological sources, but always maintain an aura of mystery and tragedy. Genealogy parents. In many versions, the Sirens are daughters of Achelous, the river god, and one of the Muses, usually Terpsichore, muse of dance, Calliope, muse of epic poetry, or Melpomene, muse of tragedy. This mystical ancestry explains their connection to music and song. Companions of Persephone. In some traditions, the Sirens were mortals, servants, or companions of Persephone. When the young goddess was abducted by Hades, the Sirens tried to rescue her but failed. As punishment for their inability, they were cursed by Demeter, transforming into hybrid creatures. Demeter's curse. The transformation of the Sirens is seen as a divine punishment. Demeter gave them wings so they could search for Persephone, but she also condemned them to live forever on a desolate island, trapped between the world of the living and the dead. They could only find eternal rest if someone resisted their song. 2. The appearance of the Sirens. The appearance of the Sirens varies widely throughout history and across the cultures that depicted them. In their earliest form, they were hybrid creatures, but their representation evolved significantly. Original form: bird women. In archaic Greek mythology, the Sirens were described as having the bodies of birds and the heads of women. This form is symbolic of their ambiguity. Birds represent freedom, but also predators, while female faces evoke beauty and seduction. They are generally depicted with sharp claws, reinforcing their predatory nature. Later, form: fish women. From the Hellenistic period onward, especially under the influence of Roman culture, the Sirens began to be associated with the sea and were depicted as fish women, much closer to the mermaids of modern representations. This change may have occurred due to a cultural fusion with the legends of seafaring peoples, such as the sea nymphs, Nereids, or the seductive creatures of Babylonian mythology. Visual duality. The Sirens combine the beautiful and the terrifying. They attract with their appearance and voice, but their true nature is predatory and deadly. This duality reflects the danger of trusting only in appearance or the promise of something seemingly desirable. 3. The Island of the Sirens. The Sirens inhabit a desolate, isolated, and dangerous island. Homer describes this place in detail, emphasizing both its beauty and its danger. Geography. The Island of the Sirens is surrounded by treacherous rocks and calm waters, which mask the dangers lurking beneath. The serene sea contrasts with the deadly nature of the creatures that dwell there. Bones and deaths. The landscape of the island is filled with bones and remains of sailors who succumbed to temptation. These remains are visible symbols of the price paid for yielding to the Sirens' song. The Song of the Sirens. The Song of the Sirens is their most powerful weapon, designed to explore the deepest desires and weaknesses of the listeners. It is not a generic melody, but one that is personalized, speaking directly to the soul of every person who hears it. How the song works. Power of psychological seduction. The Sirens' song reaches the deepest longings of the listener. For Odysseus, they promise to reveal the secrets of the world, appealing to his insatiable curiosity and desire for knowledge. False promises. The Sirens offer nothing concrete. Their magic lies in promising what the person desires most, but that can never be attained. The fate of the Sirens. The myth of Odysseus marks a crucial point in the history of the Sirens. According to some versions, they were bound to a prophecy. Their existence would end the moment someone resisted their song. Thus, when Odysseus manages to escape, the Sirens face their final defeat. The suicide of the Sirens. Ashamed and defeated, they dive into the sea or throw themselves off cliffs, ending their eternal torment. This adds a layer of tragedy to the myth, as the Sirens are also victims of their own nature. 6. Differences with other creatures. Although the Sirens are often confused with other mythical figures, they have distinct characteristics. Harpies. While harpies also have bird bodies and women's heads, their function is very different. They personify physical torment, being sent by the gods to punish and steal, unlike the Sirens, who act through mental seduction. Nereids and Tritons. The Nereids and Tritons are benign aquatic creatures that help sailors. The Sirens, on the other hand, are predators. Muses. The Sirens share a connection with the Muses due to their relationship with song and art. However, while the Muses inspire creativity, the Sirens manipulate to destroy. The Sirens are more than just mortal creatures or monsters. They are reflections of human temptations, of the empty promises that can seduce us into destruction. Their myth, though ancient, remains relevant, evoking the dilemmas of desire, reason, and self-control that we all face. The context of Odysseus's journey. After the Trojan War, Odysseus embarks on his long and troubled journey back to Ithaca. During this odyssey, he encounters various challenges that test his cunning, strength, and resilience. Before reaching the island of the Sirens, Odysseus visits Circe, the sorceress who advises him on how to survive the threats he will still face. Among them are the Sirens. Circe warns him that their song is deadly, but Odysseus, true to his curiosity and desire to know more, decides not only to face them, but to listen to them. He wants to experience the enchantment, but without succumbing to it. This decision reflects a central trait of his personality. Odysseus does not merely avoid dangers, but faces them head-on, always trusting his cunning to overcome them. The plan of Odysseus. Preparing for the encounter, Odysseus devises a clever plan based on Circe's instructions. He organizes his crew in the following way. 1. Protection for the sailors. As Odysseus approaches the island of the Sirens, he remembers the warnings given by Circe, the sorceress he and his crew had encountered earlier. The Sirens are mythical creatures whose enchanting song has the power to seduce sailors, leading them dangerously close to rocks where their ships are destroyed. To prevent his men from succumbing to this deadly seduction, Odysseus takes a practical and effective measure. He melts beeswax and places it in the ears of each crew member. This step prevents the sailors from hearing the Sirens' hypnotic song, allowing them to continue rowing with attention and focus. The wax serves as a physical barrier against temptation, protecting them from becoming distracted and, consequently, from putting themselves in danger. This demonstrates Odysseus's care for his men and his understanding of human vulnerability when faced with irresistible temptations. 2. Tied to the mast. Although he takes precautions to protect his crew, Odysseus is also aware of his own vulnerability. He knows that, upon hearing the siren's song, he might be overwhelmed by the temptation to jump into the sea. To ensure that he does not succumb to his will, he instructs his men to tie him firmly to the ship's mast, forbidding them to release him, regardless of his orders. This is a preventive measure aimed at controlling Odysseus's own impulse. By being tied, he becomes unable to act impulsively, even if his desire to hear the siren's song becomes unbearable. This moment reflects Odysseus's internal struggle between reason and desire. Even knowing that giving in would be fatal, he wants to experience the song, but he also recognizes the need to protect himself. 3. Leadership by reason. Odysseus's plan also reflects his ability to lead with reason and discipline, not just by strength or authority. By establishing a control system, where he himself restricts himself and trusts his men's obedience, Odysseus demonstrates a profound understanding of human nature, both his own and his crew's. He knows that if he does not take strict measures, he might lose control, but at the same time, he believes in the power of reason and discipline to overcome uncontrollable desire. His leadership is based on a combination of self-control and trust in others. He knows that even if he loses his reason upon hearing the siren's song, his crew will follow orders and not free him from the mast, fulfilling the plan in a way that ensures everyone's survival. This part of the plan symbolizes the balance between human impulses and reason. Odysseus acknowledges his weaknesses and, at the same time, uses discipline and structure to overcome those impulses. The fact that he is tied to the mast while watching his crew in action is a reflection of his ability to impose rational order, even in the face of the deepest temptation. The encounter with the Sirens. As Odysseus's ship approaches the island of the Sirens, the scene changes. The wind ceases, and the sea becomes incredibly calm, as if nature itself were enchanted. The crew, with their ears blocked, does not notice the music, but Odysseus, tied to the mast, hears every note of the hypnotic song. The Sirens begin to sing, speaking directly to him. "Here, Odysseus, stop your ship and listen to our voices. No one has ever passed by here without being seduced by the nectar of our songs. We will tell you the secrets of the gods, the mysteries of the world, and we will sing of the glory of your deeds." These words are skillfully calculated to attract Odysseus, who seeks glory and knowledge. What they omit is that those who approach their island never return. The song is irresistible. It mixes praises of Odysseus's bravery and intelligence with promises of absolute knowledge, a perfect appeal to the hero's insatiable curiosity. The Sirens know his weaknesses and skillfully exploit them. Odysseus is overwhelmed by an overpowering desire. He shouts for his men to release him, begs, threatens. But his sailors, following the orders given earlier, ignore his pleas and tighten the ropes, keeping him tied to the mast. The Island of the Sirens. The island where they live is described as a deceptively beautiful place, surrounded by the bones of sailors who succumbed to temptation. These remains are silent witnesses to the mortal danger that the song represents. However, Odysseus's sailors, with their ears protected, continue rowing, unaware of the deadly magic. The Sirens, realizing their efforts will be in vain, intensify their song, desperate to attract Odysseus. But as the ship moves away from their island, their voices become inaudible, and the enchantment breaks. Odysseus, exhausted and shaken, is released from the mast, having survived the test. The fate of the Sirens. In some versions of the myth, the Sirens face a tragic fate. According to a prophecy, they would die as soon as someone resisted their song. Odysseus, escaping their magic, seals the creature's fate, and they either dive into the sea or throw themselves from cliffs, ending their cursed existence. The symbolism of the myth. the encounter between Odysseus and the Sirens is filled with symbols that transcend the mythological context. 1. The song as forbidden knowledge. The Sirens promise to reveal the secrets of the gods and mysteries of the world, but at a fatal cost. Thus, they represent the human desire to seek the unattainable, even when it brings destructive consequences. 2. The mast as an anchor for reason. The mast to which Odysseus ties himself symbolizes the strength of reason and discipline, which prevents him from yielding to impulse. It is the contrast between desire, the siren's song, and logic, the ropes and obedient sailors. 3. Odysseus as a model of self-awareness. Odysseus acknowledges his weakness in the face of temptation and prepares for it, demonstrating that the true hero is not the one who ignores their limits, but the one who accepts and overcomes them. 4. The Sirens as reflections of the soul. The Siren's song is not universal. It varies for each listener, reflecting their innermost desires. They are a mirror of the human soul, exposing what is hidden. Cultural legacy. The myth of the Sirens and Odysseus has resonated through the centuries, influencing literature, philosophy, and art. From James Joyce in Ulysses to Franz Kafka in The Silence of the Sirens, the theme of temptation and resistance continues to be explored as a metaphor for human challenges. This episode of the Odyssey is not just an adventure. It is a lesson about the balance between reason and desire, and about the importance of knowing our weaknesses in order to resist what can destroy us. Odysseus, with his cunning and courage, crosses the threshold between the mortal and the divine, becoming a timeless example of how to face the temptations of the world. Thank you for diving into the enchanting tale of Ulysses and his encounter with the mesmerizing Sirens. If you enjoyed this journey into mythology, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating stories. And while you're here, follow the band, Vale of Nyx, on all music platforms for a unique blend of myth-inspired melodies. See you in the next adventure.
The sea is calm, the wind is still. Ulysses sails against his will. The rocks are near, the voices call. The siren song, it tempts them all. Come, Ulysses, hear our melody, secrets of God's eternity. But he knows he's heard the tale, not to fall, not to fail. Sing sirens, sing your deadly tune. But I know the cost, the dark monsoon. Bound to the mast, I'll never fall. Your song will claim me not at all. Wax in their ears, the crew stays true, while Ulysses listens, torn in two. Let me go, I must hear more. But his men hold fast, they know the score. His will is tested, his heart is torn, but he won't surrender, he'll be reborn. Come, Ulysses, let us show you light, the truth of the world, the endless night. But the mast is strong, he can't break free. The song won't drown him, he won't agree. Sing sirens, sing your deadly tune. But I know the cost, the dark monsoon. Bound to the mast, I'll never fall. Your song will claim me not at all. As the ship sails, the song fades away. The calm of the world, the endless night. But the mast is strong, he can't break free. The song won't drown him, he won't But I know the cost, the dark monsoon. Bound to the mast, I'll never fall. Your song won't claim me, not at all. No, your song won't claim me, not at all. As the ship sails, the song fades away. The calm of the sea, the break of day. Ulysses freed, but he paid the price for the knowledge and wisdom, the sacrifice. Sing sirens, sing your deadly tune. But I know the cost, the dark monsoon. Bound to the mast, I'll never fall. Your song will claim me, not at all. No, your song won't claim me, not at all. Come, O Ulysses, let us show you light, the truth of the world, the endless night. But the mast is strong, he can't break free. The song won't drown him, he won't agree. Sing sirens, sing your deadly tune. But I know the cost, the dark monsoon. Bound to the mast, I'll never fall. Your song won't claim me, not at all. No, your song won't claim me.